on the video. And DJ Rez wants to come up. Come on up, Rez. All right, we will rock and roll now. Everyone mute, please. Welcome to all of our video audience. I almost hit the wrong button, but you don't get to play the jingle, Ralph. All right, here we go. Good morning, podcasters. Today is Thursday, July 16th, 2026, and today, keep it, dump it, or change it. We're putting podcasting's most common habits on trial, forcing everyone to pick a side before defending everything from video to ratings, reviews, and more. So if you're listening live on Clubhouse, hit the share button, top right-hand side of the screen, and share it however Clubhouse lets you. And if you're catching us via podcast, YouTube, etc., please share this episode with a fellow podcaster. And now give us about 30 seconds and we'll get things rolling. Thanks for being here. The Podcasting Morning Show is powered by Ironic Media, helping podcasters launch, polish, and grow great shows. And by Content Creators Accountant, helping creators build real business behind their content. Good morning again, Podcasting Morning Show. Thank you so much for being here. I am your host, Mark Ronick, and currently on stage, we've got a pretty full house here. We have Ralph Estep, DR Fay, Phil Better, BC Babbles, and I'll tell you why I'm laughing in a second. We also have Junaid Ahmed, and Dan and Rez from the audience are here on stage as well. Okay, I did get everybody this time, I think. So, BC, you were telling me that I totally skipped you yesterday?
Yes, but I'm not salty about it. It's all good. It's all good.
All right. All right. You mentioned it, so you got maybe a slight salt.
Okay, a little salty, but it's all good now. We're good.
All right.
I think something's in order. I think we should play BC's jingle just to make sure everybody feels good. So let's do it.
Hey! Eyes up, don't give now. You're on camera, stay with me now.
Come back to me. What life can you see? Open those eyes.
Yeah, right now. Don't check out now.
There it is, the jingle for the guy who has fallen asleep on the show once or twice.
Half a dozen times, but who's counting?
Yes, and that was actually, I think, since the new change, since we started an hour later, you do much better now, BC.
There's been no need, so I suppose we'll go back to our normal schedule later in the year, so we'll see what happens then.
We need to find a new jingle because that groove is just too good to give up. We need to find a better jingle.
Look, it works to play first thing on the show in the morning, right? Just to like wake everybody up a little bit, give us a little pep in our step, even though I think our theme music does that. But
I love that groove, though.
Yes, it is a good groove. All right, let's do it like this. So you heard me tease it at the top of the show. I came up with today's, I'll call it a game, because most podcasters follow a lot of practices, I'll call them. And those practices start to become standard or routine, right? Like, for example, we publish every week, we create clips, some of us record video, we read guest bios on our shows, we add calls to actions. Some of these practices absolutely still serve us and still serve our communities. Some may have run their course. Others probably just need some kind of update. So this morning, we're putting 7-ish common podcasting practices to the test. I say 7-ish because we'll see how many we actually get through today. But for each one of these, we have 3 choices for all of you who want to participate today. Those choices are keep it, dump it, or change it. Now, this is in the spirit, for those of you who may know the not so PC game, F, Marry, Kill. Okay, I'm sure some of you have heard of that game before. That game was you pick a person, usually it's a celebrity, and then or 3 different celebrities, and you have to choose which one you would marry, kill, or have intimate relations with. We'll go with that.
I'm not sure what that means about your thoughts on marriage. If dump it is replacing marry it.
These days, yeah. All right, let me give you the details of how it works. Thank you, Dan. So each panelist gives a quick vote. I'm going to tell you the topic or the routine, and you're going to, each of you, I'll go down the row and give you guys a vote. All I want you to do, because this is a very chatty group, is tell me, keep it, dump it, or change it. And then I'll go back and I'll ask a couple of you, or maybe all of you, depending on how heated the discussion gets, to explain your choices. And then the team will discuss and perhaps challenge each other. And of course, if you're in the chat and don't, not on Clubhouse or don't want to come up on stage to participate with your voice, feel free to chime in the chat. And then we're going to move on to the next topic. So I really want to try to follow this format because I know that we go in with a lot of good intentions following a specific format, and then we usually stray from that. So we'll see how we do. But
Mark, did you just say podcasters are a bit chatty?
I've learned that over the years. Yes.
I think you might be right.
Yeah, I think that is true. Okay, so with that, let me pull up my notes here and let's play. And it's funny. I was looking for something I could play. I'll just do this. Let's play. Keep it, dump it, or change it. So with that, let's go with the traditional podcast intro. Okay, so what do I mean by that? Because a lot of people, I think, have different definitions of intros. And by the way, I know, let me bring Junaid in. Junaid wants to join us over on video. So I'm bringing him in. There he is. So now we've got 5 of us on camera. If you want to watch us live or catch us on video after the fact, just go to podcastingmorningshow.com/join us. And you can find all the different ways that you can see us here on video, or if you prefer the audio, how you can find us that way as well. So the traditional podcast intro, that's, in my opinion, starting every episode with theme music like ours. Theme music, a produced introduction, a welcome, and an explanation of the show. Now, I say like ours, but, I think there are various versions of that, but that's what I'm talking about. It's pretty much like the standard intro that you do on every show. And I know that not everyone does, but typically that happens a lot. Okay, so let's go. And again, remember, it's keep it, dump it, or change it. I'm going to start. I'll just start with Junaid since he's the first person in. Oh, actually, DR is on my screen. So I'm going to go with DR first. Ladies first. DR. So what say you? Traditional podcast intro.
Change it.
Okay, DR says change it. Junaid.
Dump it.
Okay, Ralph.
Double dump it.
Okay, we got a couple of dump its. BC.
I'll say keep it.
Keep it. All right. BC's keeping it. So now we've got at least one for every category. Oh, here comes Sid. All right. And I'm going to Phil Better. Phil.
Change it.
Okay. Phil says change it. Phil, for some reason, I have a vision of you laying in your bed right now. Am I right?
Will not confirm or deny said vision.
Mark, why are you imagining him laying in bed?
It was the sleepy voice. I heard the sleepy voice, and I'm like, he's got to be in bed. All right, Dan, what say you?
Keep it.
And Rez, do you want to play along?
100% keep it, Mark.
100% keep it. That an emphatic keep it. Sid Meadows, welcome. How about you? Oh, Sid? All right, we'll come back to Sid. And maybe his mute button is
multitasking, so I couldn't find what's the question?
The question is keep, dump, or change the traditional podcast intro. The theme music, the produced intros, the welcome, the explanation of the show. Keep it, change it, dump it.
I'm gonna say change it.
Okay, change it. I feel like that's the leader right now. I should be keeping score, and I'm not. And we also have Nikki, a.k.a. Tide Tutoring. Nikki, do you want to play along?
Absolutely.
What say you? Keep it, change it, dump it?
I say keep it.
Okay. So I think Change It kind of edged its way as the winner here. And Ralph, since you said double kill it, let's start with you. Give us a reason why.
I just think it's been played out too much. I think that people want you to get right to the point. And especially me, because I'm video first, is I think you got to get right to the point and say, here's what I'm going to cover on today's show. So I'm going to throw you for a loop. I think you can do the traditional introduction, but you start off with that teaser at the beginning that says, here's what we're going to cover on today's show. Then you might play your jingle and go into why you're here. But I think that the traditional play that jingle first, people just zone out. That's my personal opinion.
That's fair. And Ralph, what do you think? Do you think then that people are zoning out? And you can be honest, of our show, like because of that intro?
I think that we should test not doing it that way. I think we should test having a teaser of here's what we're going to cover on today's show. Make sure you join, stay tuned. Here we come. Then play the sound. It's just an idea.
Yeah. Hey, this is just a hypothetical situation. Doesn't mean we're going to do it for sure. And I know that there would probably be several people that would be pissed off that the music wouldn't play nearly enough. DR, did you want to chime in on all this?
Yeah. So I'm coming at it from two different roads here. For video, I say dump it. But for audio, I want to keep it, but I want to really shorten it. I mean, I used to have a client that used to go into the introduction of her guest. Well, she likes walks on the beach and crocheting, and oh my God, it was horrible. So change that. Keep it, but change it, make it more precise, and dump it for the video.
Okay. And see, Tide Tutoring is laughing over there at some of your comments, I guess. BC, go ahead.
I want to say I like Ralph's pivot there about giving like a little tease first and then doing an intro if we still do one. I say keep it though in general because I think it's still an undeniable way to really set the tone of what your show is, especially if you're a video first like me. And depending on the visuals you include in that sequence, people can get a good idea of what's happened, what to expect before you begin. But I also want to mention, because someone just mentioned saying in this episode, because I think we recently just decided that saying something like that can kind of kill the interest.
Yes, that was from our interview, and we talked about doing that in your show notes. And yeah, I think that can apply to your intro too. I will say I agree that with the people that say change it. I don't think you get rid of it altogether. And really, Ralph, that's kind of what you ended up saying here and suggesting here, right? You're not saying just get rid of it altogether.
I played a little wiffle ball there, Mark.
Yes, you did. And that's okay. We all do here sometimes. But yeah, I think that short intros is really where it's at. Your audience your new audience needs to get hooked in, right? And I think if you're just going to dive into the episode with no intentional start, right? So to really set the table for the audience, I think it feels a little empty. It might fall a little short for a new audience. I think if you've got an established audience that keeps coming back every week or what have you, then yeah, maybe you could get away with just diving in. But I think if you're really trying to grow your show and your audience and community, I think you need something there at the top. Yeah.
I would just throw in there, though, I think if you're going to use a jingle, you need to make it super short. Because I think there's a tendency to have a long, engaged jingle, and I think that is the button to drop out.
Okay,
Wasn't their strategy having to do with our theme song, though? About because we're live? I remember you mentioning one time, Mark.
Yes. Yeah. We do. That's why sometimes I will say here on the show, do as I say, not as I do, right? Because we are a podcast first. I consider us podcast first, but it's actually, maybe it's side by side. I don't know that I have a clear first, because yes, I consider us a podcast first, but we're a morning show and we like to go live, right? We like to do it like a morning show does it. So that live component is just as high of a priority to me. And yeah, those longer intros feel a little more appropriate on video to me for some reason. Yeah, for some reason, it's just with the music, the fanfare a little bit. It just makes it feel more like a morning show to me. That's the
Rez has a comment.
Yes, I saw that. Yeah, okay, I'm going to go to Rez and Janaid. So first I'll go to Rez, and then Janaid will have the final word, and we'll move on to the next one. Go ahead, Rez.
Yeah, I think for me, it's my favorite thing to do. It's like your tagline. It's like it gives your episode a consistent identity. It reminds listeners what they're watching. Um, I just think it should be something that like you're proud of.
Yeah,
every
something like
episode.
it's part of your branding. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm with you there. And that's why I think I'm with the consensus. I think if you're doing long intros, and what's a long intro, right? What's a long intro? I think if you're going honestly beyond 30 seconds, that's probably nowadays a little too long for my taste, for my
Did you
recommendation.
see Tim's comment that
No.
he just made?
Share it. Yeah.
My intro used to be 3 minutes, but
Mhm.
I've cut it down to 15 to 30 seconds
Yeah.
because I had to get I had an audience member tell me it was too long.
Ooh. I appreciate that you're listening to your audience. And that can be a trap too, right? Because it's easy, at least for me, it's easy if I get one piece of feedback where a listener says, I don't like this, even if they're doing it constructively, it gets in my head. And yes, they might be representing a portion of your audience, but is that the majority that this person's representing? I think just make sure that if you're going to make a change because of one person, make sure you're doing a little research first to make sure that's maybe not the only person that doesn't like what you're doing.
And Mark, actually, your head is a little different than most other heads because of the ADHD thing.
Well, yes, that's true. But where are you going with that? I'm not sure.
Where's your
You said
head?
it gets in your head and you can't get it out. And
Yes,
it's because
yes,
of that.
that's true. I could get hyperfixated on that.
Oh.
Yes, yeah. Tide, I think you had something. I know I said Janaid is going to have the final word, but I'm going to check in with you first.
Yeah, I was just going to say that the game that we were playing, Keep It, Dump It, Change It, for me, whenever I hear the word change, it's not necessarily synonymous with improve. So that's the reason why I picked Keep It, because change for the sake of change does not equate to improvement. But if you're looking along the lines of dump it, keep it, improve it, then yeah, I think this conversation is really helpful.
Yes, and consider that improve it. I'm going to still call it change it, but for the definition, let's just say that's what it means. Yes. Okay, Janaid, final word for you, and then we're moving to the next category.
So dump it because we're consuming so much content without any intro. Have you scrolled, like, if you just go back to your past 24 hours, how did you consume content? Did any of those videos have an intro?
Well, they
No.
had a hook. A lot of
That
them have
hook,
a hook.
that's not an
which-
intro. It's not the
but
same.
but isn't it like for social media? Isn't that maybe considered an intro when it comes to a short form video?
I mean, then why do you call it a hook?
Yeah, I mean, I'm getting a little. These are semantics, and you're right. You are
So,
right.
I mean, yes, change it, improve it is definitely better. But again, get that feedback from the audience. If you've watched Netflix or Apple TV, they have a big ass button right there. Skip intro, skip recap, all of this, because people who are coming back to your show over and over every single day, they don't need that fanfare. Sure, they might like the music, like the thing you mentioned and Rez mentioned. You like your own intro. Who doesn't like their own intro or own stuff?
It
right?
can be a little self-serving,
right?
Yeah.
It's self-serving. So from that perspective, test it. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that should be another one. Test it, dump it,
Test
change
it.
it, test
Well,
it.
I mean,
What
honestly,
works? Yeah.
test it would be the first choice that, or I'll call it the forced choice, because you're
Forced
right,
choice.
Janaid. I think before you really decide any of those three, I think, or maybe once you've decided one of those three, it's important to test it before you actually pull the trigger on it. Yeah, I'm with you there.
And this is why you can't play this game with podcasters.
That's so
Because
true.
Now we have 14 different options. And who was it? Tim in the chat instantly put depends. Like
Yes.
5 seconds into before the show started, I think.
Yes. So everybody, listen, we know that we are the king of it depends, right? Like we say that all the time. And I know that our friend Ariel Nissenblatt, she has a business name called Well, It Depends, and it's all a podcasting business. So yeah, it does. And again, gang, we're playing a game, damn it. Go with it. Just go along with it. Enjoy. And we're sticking with keep it, dump it, or change it. We're defining those a little bit as we go, and that's the way we're playing the game. So the next topic up for debate, asking for ratings and reviews. Right? So we hear this all the time, especially on the DIY independent podcasters shows, where we're regularly asking listeners to rate and review the podcast. So let's go down the line. Keep it, dump it, or change it. Going with you again, DR.
Change it.
Change it for DR. Ralph.
Dump it.
Ralph says dump it. BC.
Dump it.
Okay, 2 dump it's. Let's go to Phil.
I'm going to say keep it.
All right, keep it. And Sid Meadows.
Keep it.
All right, we got a couple of keep it. All right, so it's we're getting a mixed bag. Dan.
Dump it. We do it twice a year, and we've got like 200 reviews.
Okay, there you go. How long has your show been running?
11 seasons.
Okay. Rez, how about you?
100% keep it.
100% keep it. All right. And Nikki?
I missed it. What were we
We're
assessing?
ratings and reviews, asking for ratings and reviews on your show.
Dump it.
Dump it. Okay. Kind of a mixed bag. So I'm going to stick with you for a second, Nikki, if you have a second. Why dump it?
Okay.
Why do you want to dump it?
For me, it comes across as desperate. I have supreme confidence in everything that I do, and I have supreme confidence in my podcast. So if I ask for something, it's not coming from, oh, please do this for me. And I feel like sometimes it can come across that way in most cases, not necessarily in yours, but just in when I watch YouTube videos, people they come across as like very desperate, like, please follow me, please subscribe, and please do this and please do that. And they might not have to say please, but it still gives that energy. I just don't like it at all. If I want to subscribe, it's because I know that you too are supremely confident in what you do. I've really liked your content and I don't want to miss it. And if I come at it from that angle, I just feel like it's better. It's better for the listeners, and it's not begging. It's not asking for something. It feels like it's sort of like asking for a favor, and I just don't like that.
Yeah, I can feel that. I mean, I think if anyone here or anyone listening right now has listened to this show for any period of time, it's something I barely do. And sometimes I kind of feel guilty about it because here's the deal. I just saw John ask in the chat, what does a review do for your show? It's just an ego boost for the podcast host. Yes, I think it serves that as that, but I do also believe it's social proof. I will, most of the time, if I'm picking between 2 shows that are talking about similar things, I'm going to go first. If they're both new to me, I'm going to go first with the one that's got more reviews, better reviews. That's going to be the deciding factor for me. If they are truly, if they are apples to apples, right? Like it's not about the guests. It's just they're evenly matched except for the ratings and reviews. I'm going with the one that's got more reviews and better reviews, just like I do when I'm shopping on Apple.
But can you trust those reviews? But can you trust those reviews, Mark? Because there is a cottage industry of people out there in the podcasting realm who are offering to do reviews for you for a price.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair too. And I think what I like, example, if I'm shopping on Amazon, I don't just look at the overall 5-star reviews. You know, I don't see if it says, okay, 4.6, I'm in. I mean, that is step 1, right? And that's the same for a podcast. If I see it's got a high review rating, I'm like, okay, I'm in. But I'm not going to hit play yet. I'm going to then go and read some of the actual reviews, and if they feel genuine to me, that's going to be enough for me. I know that there are people out there that are paying for phony reviews, and I'm just doing my best to make that discernment and make my choice accordingly. Anyone else want to chime in here? You know, yeah, and DR, you and I were talking right before the show, and I was asking you, because I know you listen to a lot of the big name podcasts as well, like Conan O'Brien, like Good Hang. And Good Hang is a newer show for me as far as regularly listening, so I couldn't remember. But like my overall feeling, my impression is most of these big name people don't ever really ask for ratings and reviews.
Right, but you just said big name. They don't have to. They don't have to adhere to any of those quote unquote rules that us indie people have to. For instance, SEO, AEO, all of those things, they don't have to do that. They have big budgets. They can advertise. They have mounds of, people to advertise for them. And there's one other thing that I'm coining this phrase. So if you ever hear it, it came from me, and I call that ECO. And that is eye-catching optimization, which it's a direct correlation to your title and your cover art. And, think of the Beatles' White Album. They're the Beatles. Who gives a damn? It's the Beatles. I'm going to buy the White Album. So it's the same thing with these big name podcasters. They don't have to adhere to any of that stuff.
Yeah. And the big name podcasters, so we do know, especially from some of our news and comment episodes, that there is a large percentage of the podcast listening audience out there that are listening to the big name shows. The smaller shows, quote unquote, are not making up the vast majority of podcast listeners. So where I'm going with this is, if the majority of that audience is used to listening to podcasts who aren't constantly asking you for ratings and reviews, and then they come find a quote unquote smaller show and they hear these hosts asking, I'm kind of with Nikki. I wonder if the audience is thinking, these guys sound desperate.
Well, you know what? One of the things for us indies is that at the end of the show, it rolls off hosts' tongues just so naturally, just like, how are you? I'm fine. Thank you. It rolls off. It doesn't mean anything. Leave a rating and review, leave a four-star review. It doesn't mean anything. So I'm trying to get my clients in the habit of maybe not every episode, but maybe every other episode. And it's not a desperate thing. It is a matter of fact kind of tone that you take. Listen, the reason why we need you to do this is because it helps our blah, blah, blah. And you just get really transparent and really real with them, and you slow it down. It's not raise a review, it's listen, rate and review. It's slowing it down, making it a little bit more granular. And I think the transparency will help.
Okay, fair. Good strategy. I'm with you there. And BC, you wanted to chime in?
Yeah, and I agree with everything that's been said so far. It is social proof. It does help with rankings, but I think it also depends on what the ultimate goal for the podcaster is. I think that reviews can definitely help, if you want to be up on the leaderboards and whatnot. But I think when it comes down to what you want to leverage, let's say if you're trying to get sponsorships, will it be the couple of ratings you got X amount of months ago, or will it be the consistent number of downloads and listeners that you can almost guarantee to expose a partnering brand to per episode, which would not necessarily be reliant on those reviews. Those are your actual active audience members, not the few that you got to give you this social proof. So I think it comes down to that individual necessity or need, depending on the person or the show.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Thank you, BC. And Rez, you wanted to chime in as well before we move on?
Yes, please. I think if I am a DJ, you're hiring me as a DJ, right? If I don't have any Google reviews, would you really hire me?
No,
I would rather
not.
I'd rather have a ton of bad reviews than no reviews at all. That's just my opinion.
Well, to me, it feels like those are kind of the same, right? Because if you got a lot of bad reviews, majority of bad reviews or no reviews, at least when it comes to me, you're not getting my business. That's how I feel about it. But yeah, I'm with you on the other side of the coin. Like you said, whether it's a DJ service, a restaurant, or a podcast, I think that when there are visible ratings and reviews, I think it has influence. I really do.
Mark, can I throw something in real quick?
Yes.
I just think you have to be wise in choosing your call to action, because the thing we need to understand is your listeners will only do one thing. If you're giving them a basket of stuff to do, like, hey, leave a rating and review, do this, do that, I think you need to be very intentional. And this is one of those places I think there are a lot of people are not as intentional as they could be.
Okay. Yeah, fair.
So I will say on that, the overall thought is one CTA, one CTA only.
Call to
I
action.
happen to think that listeners can handle 2. I happen to think that that is underestimating the capabilities of
I
the
agree.
average listener, and they can handle 2. But to have a whole plethora of them is probably not very good.
Yeah, I agree with you. I really try not to worry so much about it. Like if I've already done one call to action, I used to kind of get in my head about it, about wanting to do another one and holding back because I've already done
Right.
one. But honestly, what I try to do is if I've got more than one, I try to follow it up by reminding the listener to go into the show notes and pick their poison.
Right.
Right. That's ultimately the call to action. Is
Exactly.
go check the show notes and you've got your menu of choices, what you want
Right.
to do. And I get it. Sometimes too many choices means they're not doing anything at all. But I just, it's one of those things that I can't get in my head about. I got to just, if there's something important that I want to share with you, I'm going to share it.
Yeah.
It's up to you if you want to actually take action on it. Sid, I'm going to give you the final word.
So I think intention is a really good word to think about with this. And any call to action is what's your intention around it. And for me, I suck at this. And I'm going to be the first to admit that I suck at putting call to actions in my show. I forget because I get so engrossed in the conversation and so focused on what's in front of me that I forget to do it. And sometimes I do it at the end, but we know that the ending is not necessarily the best place to put it. But I'm absolutely 100% okay with asking a listener to leave a rating and review of the show. If you're really enjoying this content, please leave us a rating and review. It helps our show get discovered. For me, that's about it. When I say it, that's about it. I did have a listener who I had coffee with in Chicago a few weeks ago said, Sid, how can I, he's been a longtime listener. He said, how can I support this show? And I said, that's a really great question. Thank you for asking it. And I said, the best way that you can support the show and support me, because he framed it, how can I support you? I said, share an episode that you think will help somebody. Just share it one time. Because that gives me reach, right? And so, and I started including occasionally that in there in my call to action when I do it, because I forget, admittedly. That hey, if you got some value out of today, and you know somebody that could enjoy, I forget how I say it, would enjoy this or whatever, blah blah blah, then please share this episode with them.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think the intention behind it is really, to Tide's point earlier about it sounding sleazy. But I will also say, in my sponsor package, when I sent up my media kit, the third page of my media kit was nothing but a page full of reviews that people had left me on my podcast.
Yeah.
Was it impactful? I don't know if it helped them make a decision or not, but at least they could hear what my community was saying about the show. Whether it was 5 years or 1 year old, I still put them out there because I felt like it was credibility that could benefit the sponsor from seeing.
I think it does help subtly to include that. Let me clear my throat. Subtly to include that in a media kit, those reviews. And because I think what's going to happen is, I don't think that the sponsor is shuffling through a media kit looking to see, okay, what are the ratings and reviews for this show? But I do, again, think that there is some influence there. I think that it only can help the cause if you're going to try to close somebody. Yeah, subliminally or what have you. Yeah, absolutely. All right, let me see. Did anyone else have? I know that I saw Gabe said in the chat here, I sometimes forget to use a CTA. I'm trying to get better at it. I mean, we'll get to it. I think that's one of the topics. The CTA itself is one of my topics here. I'll see if we can get to that one. Actually, you know what? Let me see here. Let me see. Yes. All right. You know what? Let's just do it. Calls to action and multiple calls to action. Right. So ending, just for those who may be a little unclear for our newer podcasters, ending an episode by asking listeners to follow, subscribe, rate, review, maybe join your course or buy your course, follow you on social media, however that looks. You're asking your audience to do something. Okay, so let's just focus on multiple calls to action since DR and I kind of went there for a moment. Keep it, dump it, change it. Multiple calls to action through the show. Let's hear from some others. For this one, since we already started touching on it, I won't do the formal part of the game. I'm just going to let some people chime in. Tell me if you want to keep it, dump it, or change it.
Can you
and
define
why.
multiple?
Yeah, you say you have, like what we do here. Every so often, I'm talking about something. It reminds me, ooh, this would be something that I think my community would like. And then I give them something to go do. Go check out our website. Go check out this news article we're talking about, et cetera, et cetera. So it's happening more than once. You're asking your audience to do something more than once. So, DR, you've already weighed in. Would somebody else like to weigh in? Keep it, change it, dump it, and why? Yes, Sid.
I agree with DR. No more than 2. Keep them. They're important, but no more than 2.
And why is that? You think after 2, what happens?
I mean, again, I think about my behavior as a listener. And if I'm listening to a show that goes, oh, do this, oh, go do this, oh, buy my show, buy my course, like, oh, buy this. At the end of the episode, I don't know what the hell to do.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, I'm just like, I'm lost. Like, okay, I'm not going to do anything because give me too many things to do. I'm just not going to go do anything. So if you strategically place one in the middle and one in the end, not stack them right behind each other, but one in the middle and then one in the end, then I think that can be very effective. So,
but let me ask you this, Sid.
2.
Let me ask you this. So you're listening to a podcast about podcasting. You're looking to level up the podcast again. And there are multiple CTAs in there. And one of those CTAs says, I guarantee you I have a method to get real organic growth with your podcast. But if you go to this link and check out this service, I guarantee you that service is going to work. But then there are other calls to action, like check out this news article we're talking about. Go to my website where I'm offering X, Y, and Z. If you heard that one that guaranteed you something or just really got your interest, don't you think you would still go do that during or after the show?
That depends on who the host is, because I listen to a lot of podcasts about podcasting, and that depends on who the host is, but that also comes across as cheesy to me. Come buy my $99 course for it. I'm going to tell you how to use AppSumo to get all these great things into one thing, blah, blah. That just sounds cheesy to me. Promising me growth. That just, I would not do that. I'd probably go read an article that they referenced rather than actually making that purchase.
Well, okay, and maybe I'm not choosing the topic of most interest, or maybe you're skeptical of that topic. But my point is, if they say something that is of extreme interest to you, and then follow it up later in the show with other calls to action, I'm willing to bet that you and most people, if they've truly piqued your interest, you're going to go do that. You might not do the other calls to action, but if you are giving the calls to action, the right fit calls to action to your audience, I think they're going to pick and choose the ones that really pique their interest.
Okay, so I need to know who put something in Mark's coffee this morning, making him all spicy this morning. He's
Do I seem spicy?
I'm just kidding, Mark. I'm just kidding, Mark. I'm just kidding, Mark. I'm just kidding.
Mark, I've got some data.
Wait, hold on
What's
one
the call-
second. Let's go to finish
Wait.
Sid's thought.
I want to know what's the call to action, because, oh, hey, somehow another episode gets referenced in the recording that I'm doing, and I say, we'll drop the link to that episode in the show notes for you so you don't have to go looking for it. Is that a call to action, or is that just a courtesy?
Yeah, that's what I was dancing around. I mean, I feel like it is, in the sense it's like, go to the show notes, get the link. Like, that is a call to action. You're asking your audience to do something. Now, Ralph, you wanted to chime in?
But actually, I'm just saying, I'm just saying, hey, we'll drop it in the show notes for you if you'd like to, so for easy access or something to that effect, right? I'm not saying go to the show notes and click that link and go listen to that episode. That's not what I'm saying.
Okay. So you're saying what?
There's a way
If-
subliminally to put it in there.
Yeah. So, and Sid, you're saying what? And then I know a lot of people want to chime in. I'm going to get to all of you.
Because you're being spicy. Everybody wants to pick a fight with you this morning. No, I just say when somebody references or somehow it comes up, I'll say, we'll drop a link to that episode. It's number, if I can remember, it's number 102.
Mhm.
We'll drop the link in the show notes for you. That's all I say.
Okay.
I don't say go to the show notes and listen to it. I'm putting it there as a reference point. The same thing about somebody's book. If I'm interviewing somebody that wrote a book, we'll drop a link to this book in the show notes for you. I'm not saying go do it, but it's there if
Okay.
you want to.
Okay.
Mhm.
So
got
that's
it.
for me the difference is a mention versus go rate and review the show. Go leave. Like take this action. Go buy this product. I think they're different. A mention versus a true call to action.
Okay, Ralph, what say you? Then again, I see all of you wanting to
Yeah,
chime in. I will get to you.
I wanted to look at some actual research here. Edison Research Podcast Consumer 2026 found 76% of weekly podcast consumers said they've acted after hearing a podcast ad by visiting a website, making a purchase, using a promo code, or recommending a product. Humor was the top driver of attention. But then there's a Podigy that says the last distinction is repetition of one ask is fine. Multiplication of different asks is what kills conversion. Too many options block rather than enrich. So listeners hearing review us, join us on Facebook group, register for the website, and rate the 5 stars typically do nothing at all. That's what the research is showing.
Yeah. And so slightly different, right? Because those are ad specific, not calls to action. But if we're really getting into the semantics, isn't a call to action more or less an ad? It's just a really short and sweet one. I mean,
That's what I was getting at. And it just, so they work. But if you throw too many of them, the research seems to say that you overwhelm people and they do nothing.
Yeah. Okay. Let me check in with Dan. I know Rez wants to chime in and Junaid, and I see others do as well. Go ahead, Dan.
Sid, first to you. We have a saying, at least I have a saying, timid salespeople have skinny kids. You've got good stuff. You should be able to say, like, I don't want to bug you, but you could maybe, I don't know, kind of if you want to buy blah, blah, blah. Like, be proud. You've got good stuff to say. You're a smart guy. You should actually just make sure you're being clear. Secondly, when it comes to CTAs, I usually just weight them in importance of what's in it for the listener versus what's in it for me. I usually do our social media. I think that's our main call to action right now. We do it at the very end. It's like, go follow us on Blue Sky. Tell them how to do it, offer a little bribe to get them to do it. But we put it to the very end because that's where our diehards are. As far as like just the other calls to action, DR said it, you said it, what did you say? Do it incognito mode, just organic. I mean, you're there. If you always remember that you're
Subliminally.
here to
I
help.
think was the word.
Yeah, subliminally. I wonder why I went to incognito mode. Oh, that doesn't say a lot about me. And why are you laughing? Oh, you're okay. But like if you can work organically, all these things in organically, you can have a billion calls to action because the goal should always be to, serve the listener. And if you have a thing that's going to serve the listener, you don't have to just be blatant and say, go here and buy this. Instead, if you're a chiropractor, you might just say something like, no, and that's listen, if you have a sore back, that's why I did the how to stop a sore back thing in a weekend. Go find it, go get it. You don't even have to tell them how to get it, where to get it. If you're doing it organically, they're going to find it because you've already served them. They're probably listening because they have a pain point and you just said, hey, I'm a chiropractor. If your back hurts, I got this thing. Go find it. That's why everyone loves my how to stop back pain in a weekend thing. Go find it. And then keep going. It's going to come across more, like, honestly, powerful. You're going to sell more of them.
Okay. Fair point. Thank you, Dan. Rez, what say you, sir?
Appreciate it. I think it's the way you say it. It's like anything else. First of all, it's part of the sales process. If you're not asking for it, then you never know what's going to happen. So if you're saying like, hey guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a 5-star review, that may be a little bit cheesy. But if you say like, if today's conversation gave you a new perspective or helped you in some way, please subscribe. All I'm saying is it's the way you say it. So just make sure you're saying it in a way that is offering value instead of taking value, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you, Rez. Junaid, final word, because we got to get into another category.
Absolutely.
I know DR. I know DR. She wants to really chime in. Okay. Go ahead,
So
Junaid.
every episode, Mr. Stephen Bartlett is talking. Start with you. The first thing he asks, please go subscribe.
Okay.
This is a show that has million subscribers, he's still asking at the beginning of the show, please go subscribe because it helps us. So I don't think it matters if you have them or if you have too many, because the audience who is listening to you is listening to you because they trust you. So if you tell them, and the assumption that we're making is all for new people's perspective, which is fine, makes sense. But once you have that rhythm down, I think having all these call to actions bring the listener closer to you than anything else. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. So it's sounding like I'm going to go to you, DR, because I know how desperately you want to chime in. Yeah. It sounds like we're all, for the most part, in agreement to change it, or change it or keep it. It sounds like is really where everyone is leaning. So it's not, nobody, I don't think, thinks we should just get rid of it, or at least the majority don't. DR, what did you want to add?
So if we take a page out of Courtney Elmer's book, Courtney Elmer, one of the great podcasting guru, when she came out with her course on SEO, she did an entire episode on this course that she's offering. She broke it down, what each module was about. So in a way, that entire episode was a call to action.
It was an
And by the way,
infomercial.
pardon me?
It sounds like an infomercial.
Well, it was, but it spoke to me. I mean,
Okay.
I purchased it. And then at the end, oh, by the way, if you want white glove service, we do this as well. And if you make that second call to action, because a lot of us agree that 2 calls to action is appropriate. If you make that second call to action more of like, go to the link in the show notes, and that link leads you to like a link tree where there's a bunch of choices and they can have their choice of what they really want. I like that one.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Can I add to that for a second?
Yeah, go ahead, Sid.
Because DR should thank Sid for referring her to that.
Yes, DR does
I should
thank
get
Sid.
some affiliate links for that nonsense right there. But here's what worked about Courtney's show. Like, she's one of my go-to every week listens. And what worked about that show is it was packed with value. It was packed with value. And then she sold you $149, I think it was $149 course. And she promised you 45 minutes course, and it was 45 minutes. And she promised you X, Y, and Z, and it worked because I did the work to go along with it, and it worked. But she added value. She made a promise. She lived up to that promise, and it was a 20-minute selling episode, but it worked because of the value that was associated with it.
That's right. It didn't feel like a infomercial. I gained a lot of knowledge just from that episode.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. I'm just making a note here. Sorry for my pause there. I'm making a note that I need to get Courtney on the show. We've had some back and forths positively. It's just we haven't been able to coordinate well yet. So hopefully this will be a sign that we can make this happen and get her on the show. Yeah, she's a very well-respected person in this industry. And yeah, like you've heard, Sid and DR, big fans. Okay, I think we have time. Yeah, we have time for at least one more. Let's dig into reading a guest's full bio.
Oh.
Okay, so this is opening an interview, right? You've done your intro, or maybe you haven't. if you've dumped intros. Opening an interview by reading the guest's formal professional biography and a list of accomplishments. Okay, so keep it, change it, or dump it, and then we'll talk about why. So only want your keep it, change, or dump answers right now. Let's go to DR again. Go ahead, DR.
Dump it.
Dump it. Okay, Ralph, how about you?
Oh, I think you should keep it for sure.
Yeah?
Absolutely not.
Okay. Oh, okay. You were being
I'm just
sarcastic.
totally being
Okay,
funny.
I was
No,
like,
it's
really?
horrible. It's horrible.
Okay.
If you do that, stop yesterday.
Okay, we'll talk. And BC, how about you?
Change it.
Change it. Okay. How about you, Phil Better? If he's not sleeping.
I'm not.
Okay.
Swear, I'm awake. I say change it because it's
Well, don't say yet. Just give me your answer right now.
Oh,
Change
change
it.
it.
Okay, got it. Sid, how about you?
Dump it and burn it at the same time.
Okay, I think we know Sid's opinion. How about you, Junaid?
I would say change it.
Okay, Dan, what say you?
Dump.
Rez?
Oh my God, keep it for sure.
Wow, I don't think he's said change it yet. It's either an emphatic keep or dump. Okay, how about you, Nikki? We lost you. We didn't hear you.
It.
What is it? All we got was it.
Oh God, my phone will not work. Sorry, dump it.
Dump it. Okay, all right.
Thanks. Sorry.
No worries. All right, so it sounds like the majority say dump it. I want to go to BC first because BC says change it. What are you thinking, BC?
Yeah, at least from my perspective, my show is not about just showing off the guests. They're there to take their credentials and add to an actionable conversation. I'm more than happy to give like a small 2-3 sentence paragraph intro, like this is this person, they've done this, they do this, and they're here to help discuss this. You can find their expanded bio in the description, but otherwise for the airtime, let's make it quick and easy, get them onto the show, and then just start having the conversation. I want to talk about them a little bit, but not spend like 2 minutes doing so.
Okay. So that feels a little similar to what we do here when we have our guests. And, Ralph, I know you were saying dump it. And I know you, Ralph, also usually do our intros for our guests a lot of times because you've ended up being one of the ones that are consistently booking our guests. So I figure let's give Ralph the setup. So do you agree with BC? Because I feel like what BC is saying is kind of what we do.
No, I don't. I think that you should dump it. And here's why I think you should dump it. Because honestly, the value is what your audience gets from the person coming there. And you don't have to tell them why they're there, who they are, and what all those things are, because nobody cares. Are you giving them value? If at the end of the episode, the person has gotten value, then you can plug it, go find out more information about Joe. If you do it at the front, I just don't see any value in it, to be honest with you, because the value comes with what they're bringing to the show. And if you're a good steward of your audience, you're not going to bring somebody on your show who doesn't bring value.
Okay, I do hear you loud and clear. And then my question is, why does, say, love them, like them, or indifferent doesn't matter. Why does a late night talk show host like a Jimmy Fallon, for example, when every guest is about to come onto the stage, he does some kind of intro. And for the most part, we all know who the guest is already, right? Because they're always celebrities. They're famous people.
It's just, I think that's just a sacred cow. They've always done that. So that's what they're going to do. And I don't think they're thinking outside the box, to be blunt with you. If I'm listening to a podcast and somebody is pontificating about somebody's bio, I'm like, this person doesn't know anything, because I want to hear what they have to say. I want to hear the value for me. You want to put a bio at the end? I could almost buy into that, but I want to hear value from the start. Like when I go on other people's shows, I want to deliver value in the first minute. Here's something that you didn't know before you tuned in today that you're going to be able to take and use. I think that's where the value is.
So, Ralph, what happens if, so let's say you're going to purchase some new software, okay? And I say to you, Ralph, here's this, the commercial is, here's the software. It's going to help you with your podcast. Are you going to buy it?
No, but I would say you do a better job of here's why it's going to help you with your podcast.
Okay.
So the guest is going to bring the here's why. They're going to bring the receipts.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I like that.
So that's what I'm saying. I think that your guest brings the receipts. The receipts equal the bio, and it's much more valuable than that. Because if you have to tell about everybody, well, here's what I've done, here's what I did. Okay, who cares? What is the value for me? We're living in a culture right now. People want to know what the value is for them in 30 seconds. If you don't deliver that, they're tuning out.
So, Ralph, it's sounding then to me, honestly, and you can correct me, but it's sounding more like change it is your answer, because you're suggesting, at least what you just said, it's important to at least tell the listeners why you have this guest on.
No, I don't think so. No. I think it'd be fair to say, I'll give you a great example. Today we were joined by Sam Sethi, who's CEO of True Fans. All right, Sam, what do you got for us today? I think that's enough of an intro. And then let Sam go into, here's why I'm here, here's what I'm proposing, here's what I'm doing, and here's the value you get from it. I think it's that simple.
I feel like, so I respectfully slightly disagree with you, because I do believe it's change it, and I believe it's short and sweet. I think it's courtesy to let the guests know, to let the audience know why you've chosen this person. Like who is this person? Why are they there? But I want to be very clear. I can't stand it when bios are read. I cannot stand it. I will either tune out or skip.
You're right, Mark. And some of the most, quote, accomplished people in podcasting, I tune into their show and they're reading bios and I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah. Yeah.
It just doesn't work. You and I don't disagree that much.
Right.
I think that change it, make it very minute, make it small. But again, I go back to, Mark, if your audience trusts you, you don't need to tell them why the person's there. They are going to trust you because Mark Ronick has Ralph on the show. Ralph is bringing receipts. I don't need to tell the audience why I'm here. That's just my personal view.
Right. And then we have to think about, DR's agreeing, but what about the new people who don't trust me yet, but trust me enough just to press play, but don't know me?
And that's fine. They're going to hear the person give receipts and they're going to say, oh, this Mark guy, he knows what he's talking about. He got such and such on his show who gave me something I can use today to make money, to make my life better, take away a pain point.
Right.
Okay, I know that it's so funny because Junaid really wanted to chime in. I saw him constantly flashing his emoji and now he's on the phone, I think. Is that true, Junaid? Let me make sure. Yes. Okay, Dan, go ahead. And then Sid, I'm coming to you.
I've been following BC. BC is 100% right how he does his show. He basically will come up with the topic. Here's the thing I want to talk about. Here's the guest I want to talk to. I'm going to work his bio into a benefit of why people should listen. It's super short, super sweet, or succinct, maybe sweet. I'm not going to say anything about sweet. But right, he just gets to the point, and it's like basically it's kind of what Ralph is saying too, but it, like, you need to introduce the person, but you definitely don't need to read the bio, because even half of the time they don't want you to read the bio because they're bored with it and they're never going to share it. So you always want to take something that you can turn into something super unique, so the guest is going to want to share that episode, but then also pays off immediately for your audience. BC really does it right.
Okay, yeah, there you go. There's a little shout out for you. Yeah, go ahead, respond, BC.
I will say I have had one guest ask me, like, where'd you get that bio description from? Can you like send it to me? I want to use it later. I've had that one request.
Yeah. I've had guests back in the day when I did longer bios, or clients even. I've seen this happen on occasion. As much as I try to get them not to do a long bio, I think some of them like to keep it because their guests respond to it really well, and it helps their guests really lean in more. They're like feeling like they've been put on a pedestal and they're excited now to give their answers. That said, if that's your strategy, more power to you. And I would probably still find a way to edit that down or edit that out in post-production. So yeah, give you those flowers to your guest if it makes them feel good and you think it sets the tone, but then cut that down. There was one thing. Oh, and here's just a little, I'm not going to go to a vote. I'm just going to put my foot down and say, kill it for asking your guest, please tell us about what you do. Do not do it. Kill it, kill it, kill it.
No.
You are going to get a long, drawn-out answer, a lot of stumbling.
No, don't introduce yourself.
You're going to cut it anyway in post.
Yeah.
And you lose all credibility with your audience because now your audience is wondering, does Mark even know who's on the show today?
Do not know, exactly.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, Junaid, you're back from your phone call. Go ahead, chime in.
Yes. So what I was saying is one of the reasons why you want to introduce the guest is because, again, the audience trusts you more than the guest. Even if the guest is popular, they want your opinion. So if you set the stage right for your guest and then the guest comes and speak, they're like, okay, here's why I'm listening to this guy. Even if it's Mel Robbins introducing Jay Shetty, people who listen to Mel Robbins, they like her. They don't know Jay, right? So having that intro is so important because the audience, you're essentially lending your credibility to that guest. And that's why it's so important to have a concise intro, concise thing that, hey, here's why I'm bringing them on. and here's what my audience loves, and this is why I've introduced this person. Like, for example, I'm bringing 2 special guests on my show today to promote Empowered Podcasting Conference.
Hey, let me give you a ding for that. Yes, I knew about that because I was trying to coordinate a meeting with my business partners, and they're both, and separately, individually, I was talking to them about day and time, and I asked them about today, this afternoon. They both said, no, I'm meeting with Junaid. I'm doing his show. And I'm like, wait, how is that? I didn't even know. I wasn't invited, although I just saw on my LinkedIn that you had invited me as well. But they are 2 separate interviews. I get it. So look, I think, and I still want to hear from 2 more people, and then we got to wrap up here. But I think what I'm hearing most is there should be an intro, but we really want to make it short and sweet. And we want to make it sound like we know who this person is, even if we don't. Right? We don't want to sound like, hey, they're new to me, just like they're new to you. I like my audience to feel like I know my guest. And I hope that you have seen me demonstrate that. When I try to be as comfortable, as much as myself as I can be with a guest, because I think it portrays to my audience that I've got some kind of relationship with the person, even if I don't. All right, so I want to go to Phil because, Phil, you were going to give us your reason, and I stopped you, so I want to hear that reason. And then I'm going to give Sid the final word here. So, Phil, why did you give your answer? And please remind me what your answer was for the guest intro.
I say change it because if they're giving you their bio, that's the high points that's their things they want to show off, and they're promoting it. And that's probably not, as Ralph has continually said, it's what value are you giving your audience? So you need to take that bio and you need to change it and word it in a way that will be beneficial and show the value of having this guest on. Now, I know Ralph mentioned like having the guest show the value right away. Sometimes I prefer knowing who the hell is going on a podcast. Like there's a few podcasts that I'm subscribed to. I don't listen to all the time because their guests don't interest me, but I love hearing the intro that the host reads so that I can be like, oh, this guest is someone interesting to me, because I'm not going to spend the time jumping into the show notes looking. I'm not someone who reads show notes. I want to get straight to the point. So I think taking the bio they give you, changing it up into an interesting intro for the guest, like BC said, 2 to 3 sentences, make it quick, but demonstrate the value that this guest has, but don't read their bio word for word. It's nothing but PR.
Yeah, so to sum up what Phil's saying, it depends. And ask your audience. Ask your audience. I mean, I know you didn't directly say that, but look, everybody's different, right? Like Ralph is emphatically like, no, you can't do that. It's boring. Your audience doesn't care. But then we have somebody like Phil who's like, well, that's something I care about as a listener. I like to lean in and hear who my guest is about. So that's why it depends. And that's why ultimately it's important to communicate with your audience. That's what it comes down to. Sid, I'm going to give you the final word. If you still have it.
Yeah, I do. So first off, Mel Robbins is the worst example in the world about reading bios, because she reads word for word for like feels like 5 pages.
Yeah.
So just for clarity, don't benchmark her.
Yeah.
But you know what? There's an easy way to do this, I think, and that would be something along the lines of, hey, Mark, one of the reasons I wanted to have you on today's show is that you're a podcast expert, and we want to talk today about business and podcasting. And so I'm really excited for you to share your insights on this topic. I just set you up, right?
Yeah.
Without reading your bio. And I feel there's an easy way to do this.
Yep.
That establishes that credibility.
I love that, Sid, and I'm glad I gave you that final word there. I think that is spot on. You can kind of give the credibility with the question, and then like we're talking about here, as far as like they want you to read those bios because those are the things that they love talking about. Those are the things that they're proud of. Well, then ask them questions about it so we can learn about it and why it's so important to them, why it's so valuable. Ask questions around that. I think that's so key. Thank you for that, Sid. So Great conversation today, gang. And
so good.
we'll do this again because there's like I said, I had like 7 or 8 of these and we've only went through a handful. So we'll do
Next
this
week.
more. Yeah, I think next week will be good to do it. I hope you can see what makes what we did so valuable, because your podcast habits might be holding your show back. The same intro, the same publishing schedule, the same promotional routines. At some point, intentional choices, as we discussed, intentional choices can turn into habits that we never question. Every part of your podcast deserves a check-in. Ask what each practice is actually producing. Is it helping people find the show? Is it strengthening your relationship with the community? Is it sustainable for you? We didn't even talk about that. Keep what's working. Dump what's training your time without, did I say training? Dump what's draining your time without producing a meaningful return. Change what still has potential but needs a better approach. In my experience, my podcasts get stronger when my choices are intentional and connected to the people I'm trying to serve. Remember that we're back next week with all new episodes on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Bring your podcasting questions, bring your podcasting knowledge, and let's dig into it next week. And until then, make it a great day, everybody. Take care.